What's going on, guys? In this video I'm going to be covering trend lines, okay? Trend lines, and the next video we'll be going into counter trend lines. Maybe I'll dabble on it in this video, but okay, so trend lines, guys, you guys do know that when you go on TradingView, there's a tool called the Trendline tool, okay? And basically you can basically just draw a line at any angle, you know what I mean, flatten it out, or basically any angle you want, okay? So the trendline rules that we went over in the video, you need at least 2 points, okay? So you need point 1 and point number 2. So I'll put point 1 and point 2. Alright, you need at least 2 points, and then you extend it into the future. Alright, so let me make this bigger. So this is going to help you a lot spotting, you'll see right now. Okay, so you need at least 2 points, and make sure that it only touches the wicks, guys. Okay, so 2 wicks. All right, 2 wicks for the when you start the trend line, you need at least 2 wicks. Okay, so look, I'm gonna find a low here. You see, we're in a downtrend. Price bottomed out right here before it started climbing and making higher lows. Right, following my trend, it looks like it's going into an uptrend. Let me do a trend line right there. Okay, so I'm gonna connect it from this low right here, 1, and then you see this is the second point right here I'm using, 1, 2, run it through. Look how simple that is. Boom. Alright, so as you can see, price followed it very nicely. You know, there's a third hit right there, reaction, just like our rules. Remember, third hit needs at least some type of reaction. We've got a reaction on the third hit. Price kept climbing, retested near miss, came up, touched it again, took off. Okay, so we know this is a valid trend line. It's a very good trend line. Let me circle the points. Okay, so it's point 1, point 2, and then run it through. Okay, for uptrends, obviously the trend line is going to be going like this, right? 45-degree angle or so. Okay, uptrend. As long as price stays above it, you're going to keep looking to go long. Okay, you keep looking to buy it up. Okay, anytime price pulls back and it hits a trend line, once it rejects off of it, you can look to buy. Okay, so that's how simple it is, guys. That's basically a simple trend line, right? So 1, 2, run it through. I'll give you a couple more examples just because it's you're going to start seeing different, basically, how do you say it? Different setups in the market. So not every trend line is going to be super easy to spot. Okay, so let me go back a little bit. Let me try to find one. Say 1, 2, run it through. So I see a downtrend right here. So lower highs, lower highs, lower highs, lower highs, and then finally broke right here. So let me try to find a trend line in here. Okay, I see one right here. I'm going to pick. Let's see. This one's going to be a little bit too angled, so I'm going to pick from this point right here. See this high? Okay, I'm going to pick that as my point number 1. Alright, so point number 1, point number 2 right here, run it through. Beautiful. Okay, beautiful. So point 1 up there, point number 2 right there, and then run it into the future. 1, 2, run it through. Third hit, got some reaction. We actually got multiple touches. Right? Reaction, dropped, reacted again right here. Hugged it, and then it finally broke through, and we got a small pullback to the uptrend right here. So as you notice, whenever price stays below the trend line, guys, you're only looking for sells. When it breaks back above, you're looking for buys. Does that make sense? So super simple. Third hit was right here, so this is for a downtrend, obviously, and then reactions right here, and then we finally got the break, close above right here, confirmed with an engulfing type candle, right? So this is like a wedge type pattern, a little bit more advanced stuff, but see, I broke out right there. But anyways, I'm gonna do another trend line. I'm gonna do a couple trend lines just to give you guys examples. I get a lot of questions on this, so just looking for them. Okay, so this was in an uptrend, and then it finally broke right here. Let's see if we can find a trend line from 1, 2, possibly right here. Run it through. Remember wicks only, wicks only. So 1, 1, 2, run it through. So I'm either going to use this third wick right here, this big one, which I don't really like because that's kind of like a stop hunt, you see, and you don't get a third hit around this area, so I'm going to do it right here, right, this wick right here, 1, 2, is that second hit, right there. You see how we got a lot more reaction right here? So point number 1, point number 2. There you get your reactions right here. We got a big stop hunt, but then it closed above the trend line, still valid. And then you get the mess around right here, and then takes off right there. There's an entry. If you guys see the entry in there, 1 second. Clean this up. I want to zoom into that trend line because I want you to notice something. Once you actually set up the trend line, you can run it into the future, and price might have not hit the trend line, but as soon as price hits it, notice it struggles right there. Struggles, bottoms out. There's a reversal pattern, 4-hour chart. Okay, so I recommend doing trend lines on the 4-hour chart, 1-hour chart, and the daily chart. Okay, that's going to be your bread and butter. Notice the big reversal pattern right here at the trend line. That's an entry right there long. Okay, so you could have scalped a couple pips right here. A lot of pips, like 200 pips or so. You could have scalped them. Alright, it's a nice little push, last push upwards before it drops, and then boom. Okay, once it broke the trend line, guys, this is another point I want to make. Once your trend line gets broken, okay, see how I got broken right here? Once we confirm that it's a good trend line, and then price breaks it, now you're going to start looking to go the other way. Okay, you're going to start looking to go short. Make sense? Super simple, guys. Remember, above the trend line, uptrend, below the trend line, downtrend. Okay, now see how I broke the trend line? Now let's try to do another trend line to the downside. This time I'm going to connect 1, 2, run it through. Okay, right here, 1, high, and then I'm going to pick probably this one. Right, because price chilled here, stop hunt before the real drop. Boom, still lower highs compared to this high. Okay, let me do the trend line and see if we can follow it through. Yeah, I think we might be able to follow it through. So 1, 2, run it through. 1, 2, run it through. It's going to be a little bit angled, but let's see if we can find some value in this trend line. Okay, it's not a great trend line because of these reactions right here, but still reacted. So price still reacted, broke it. There's a retest, double bottom, took off, then dropped off. But let's try to look at the third hit. Third hit, we had a reaction, so it did follow the rules. So third hit did have a semi-reaction right here before dropping off. So it's a decent trend line, but it's not the best one, honestly. The market was kind of sideways a lot of the time. See, when the market kind of goes sideways like this, your trend lines are going to tend to not work as good, right? So when price is trending really nicely and smoothly, your trend lines are going to be super smooth. I'll do a trend line right here. Okay, 1, 2, run it through. 1 right here. 2 right there. Right, remember wicks. 1, 2, run it through. This is decent. I wanted to try to get a third hit to be this one, but that'll be way too angled, I think. So let me see. Yep. Yeah, a little too much angle on it. So you see that's what I mean, guys, by the angle. I kind of like that. This decent angle is perfect. Okay, if it's too much to one side, I don't really like that trend line. Okay, so it's nice. This trend line's decent because look, when it finally broke through out of it, retested it, right, and then it dropped off. That's pretty nice, and it actually set up that other trend line that we had. So that is it's a decent trend line. It's not the best one, but let me find more examples. Honestly, the one I showed you at the very beginning, that one's a very easy example. 1, 2, run it through. Okay, and then it popped up right here, and this is the big breakout. Okay, and I've actually if you want me to extend this trend line and see what happens when price breaks it. Okay, there, I extended the trend line 1, 2, run it through. Still the same points. See, I extended it into the future, and it still reacted even in the future. Okay, this is a 4-hour chart, so look how much time passed, and once price actually, if you extended the trend line, price did actually react to it and actually give you an entry right there. So that's actually beautiful. Look, price reacted to it, wicked, chilled here, stopped onto the high, drop, huge drop, 4-hour candle below, closed below the trend line. There's the retest, big wick to the top, enter short, right? There's the retest, and boom, there's the shift, short, 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 short. So, and the market dropped off heavy after that. Okay, so that's a nice example for a break of a trend line. You see how smooth that is? So, and it's also, I like this example because it's so far in the past, you know what I mean? So price followed it, near miss, bounced, huge trend line, or huge uptrend, I mean. Higher highs being formed, last push to the high, lower highs being formed right here. You know that the end is coming. The uptrend is ending. we're about to break the trend line, and uptrend's over right here. All right, as soon as it broke our trend line, guys, the one we did at the beginning, price started going heavy to the downside, right? It's so simple. Trend lines are going to help you guys, so let me write down that it has to be wicks. It's very important. So for rules, make sure point A and point B are wicks. Okay, it's going to be the higher lows for the uptrend and lower highs for the downtrend. Okay, so write that down, take notes. You guys know what to do. You guys are students, you guys are smart. Okay, so this is simple stuff, guys, but it's going to help you a lot in your trading. Okay, so as long as price stays above, as long as you have a good trend line on a higher time frame, like a 4-hour chart, and you can see it's a good trend line because there's multiple reactions to it, etc. Just extend it into the future and see how price reacts to it. Okay, so you're just looking for breaks and retest basically to get enter long or enter short. Okay, if it bounces like this, right, like this, if it bounces, starts climbing up like this, and then is about to break a previous high, right, and it's still above your trend line, just go long, because you know what I mean. The trend line is your guide basically. Your trend line is going to be your guide for when the trend's going to be ending, right? So look, as you can see in the future right here, price retested, but it looks like it's bearish because of the lower highs, right? The price topped off right here, lower high, comes up a little bit, breaks it slightly, but then closes all the way down here and closes below the trend line that we had. Okay, so that's how we know price is reversing to the other side. Okay, that's how simple it is. So boom, there's a drop. All right, see how simple that is? All right, so trend lines are going to help you guys to spot trends, like I said. There's going to be smaller trend lines in here, obviously, but try to focus on the overall moves first, the overall picture, the overall big trend lines, and use that as your guide. And of course, you can start going smaller trend lines, like right here. Look, these are some examples, but see, you're on an uptrend, so see, they're okay trend lines, but they're not the best. See, they're a little bit smaller, mini trend lines. But you see, price followed it for a little bit, finally broke below, came back above, still long, break below, going short. Right here, boom, see the big candle? Okay, you're expecting short soon. Bounces from the trend line, there's a stop hunt, close below, big bearish candle with a big wick to the top, boom, below the trend line, wait for a little pullback, touches the trend line short. Alright, simple. Okay, but just showing you little examples that there is little trend lines in there, but try to focus on the overall moves. Okay, so let me go to where price is right now and let me do another trend line right here. Okay, it's a little bit, see how price is a little bit crazy here? Let's try to find something. Okay, I'm gonna do a trend line right here. 1. See, try to do this one. 2. Run it through. It's following it decently. Let's run it into the future. It actually is a pretty good trend line, I would say. 1, 2, run it through. So these are the point A, point B. Keeping it simple for you guys. And then, as you can see, the third reaction, we did have a third hit right here, and it did reacted. As you can see, price consolidated, but then it finally broke back above. See, and that was the last push up. Broke the trend line. See how it broke it? There's the retest, double top. Spike on the second half of the double top, and then boom. Okay, that was an entry short, even if a little scalp. Okay. And then once again, it tested the trend line again, one more time. So you see how this is basically a resistance, right? This trend line, once it broke back below, now it's resistance. You see near miss, drop, right? And then it just consolidates in this area, and then finally the drop. Boom. Okay. So those are just examples, guys. Like, I don't know, there's not much to say besides those rules that I gave you. So these are the rules. Make sure point A and point B are wicks. You know, higher lows in an uptrend, lower highs in a downtrend. Extend into the future so you can see the reactions. And yeah, I mean, it's pretty simple, guys. It's pretty simple. Don't complicate it, please. Okay, don't overcomplicate it. Just basically use the trend lines as a guide. Okay, so whenever price breaks a trend line, as long as you know it's a good trend line and you see multiple reactions before, and price is showing you a break or a bounce off of it, you know, take it serious. Take it as a basically, use your trend lines as you can say, like a support and resistance, but really it's whenever it breaks, obviously that's what's going to give you the clue that something's going on. Okay, so that would have been a clue right here as soon as price broke below to go short. Okay, right here, as long as price keeps staying above this trend line, you're still going long, right? And then when it breaks below, okay, you're looking to go short soon. Okay, so price, even though price chilled here for a little bit, let's try to find another trend line right here. Okay, so 1, 2, run it through. I'm going to put 1, 2, and I'm going to run it through. It's going to be, this is not going to be that good of a slope on this trend line, but it'll be decent. Not that good of a slope, like I said, but it's okay. Because look, once price broke that trend line, there's entries right there short. Price breaks the trend line below, there's the retest, multiple wicks, reversal pattern, boom, drops off. Pulls back, drops off. Okay, now I'm going to do a trend line right here. This is a counter trend line because we're in a downtrend now. But you guys see the point. Okay. Okay, 2 points, run it through. Multiple reactions, a lot of reactions near it, and then finally when price breaks it, boom, starts dropping. Okay, drops off heavily right here, bottoms out, pulls back. Okay, and then starts going in an uptrend again. But notice what's really important, guys, is figuring out your bias. Okay, so right here, once it broke this trend line right here, this first one, my bias was short. Okay, so whenever price pulls back, I do my trend line, right? Once price breaks it, I go short again, back into the trend. Okay, and whenever okay, so in this example, this is a counter trend line because look, we're in a downtrend. Price started making higher lows. Once price broke through, right, we can start aiming for our previous low as our first target for our short position. Okay, so there's a little trick right here for counter trend lines. I'm going to put it green because it's the money. Okay, so you see how price, as soon as price broke the counter trend line, right, we're on a downtrend. Right here, we're on a downtrend. As soon as it broke those higher lows, the counter trend line, right here was your entry short. You could have taken profit right at the previous low, right? That could be one of your take profits if you got in short right here. Sell. Okay, why? Because it's going to struggle a little bit, and it did. Retest, drop, right? But then it came right back above, so you would have been good just to get out somewhere along this, right? Somewhere along this. But yeah, that's how simple it is, guys. Those are counter trend lines and trend lines. Counter trend lines have the same rules. Okay, you have to do it on wicks and you have to find 2 points. Okay, so counter trend lines, you have to figure out your bias first. So know if you're in a downtrend or uptrend first. And then if you see the opposite trend line being formed, like higher lows being formed in a downtrend or lower highs in an uptrend, then you know it's a counter trend line. Okay. So we'll get more into it once you get a little bit more advanced, but that's the gist of it, guys. Those are trend lines and counter trend lines. I hope this helped you. Super simple. Like, I don't even know. Like, let me go on the daily now. So you can see the daily is a lot easier. See right there, boom, breaks, came back up. Okay, this is I'm gonna do another trend line right here. This is a good one. Okay. So let's try to get one of these lower highs here. 1, 2, run it through. 1, 2, run it through. Once price broke above the trend line, there's the retest. Close above again here, boom. There's an entry long. Okay. And then as soon as you see price break a trend line, you can start looking to do a trend line the other way around. Okay, so 1, 2, run it through. That's nice. You see? Look how simple that is. 1, 2, run it through. Circle them. 1, 2. Third reaction, near miss. Reacted. Confirm trend line. Breaks. Right there we get the break. Reversal patterns. Reversal pattern down to the downside engulfed. Small retest. Drop. Double top. Drop. Okay, I think it's actually going to pull back right now, but it's a little bit more advanced stuff. There's a harmonic pattern here that I'll show you guys in another video. But yeah, I'm expecting price to pull back a little bit from this drop. Okay. But yeah, that's trend lines, guys. Remember, daily chart, 4-hour chart, 1-hour chart. All right, don't go lower than that. These are going to help you basically for entries, exits. Also, I was going to tell you guys as targets. Okay, so let's say let's say, okay, trendline targets. Let's say price was dropping right here, okay, and then you saw a reversal pattern right here, right? You see that hammer on the daily chart? If you bought it up, you could have taken profit at the trend line because you know it's gonna basically struggle near the trend line, right? Obviously, price always struggles near these trend lines. Okay, so if you would have bought it up right here, target would have been, your take profit would have been near the trend line. Okay, because you know it's gonna struggle, and there it is, struggled, pull back heavy, and then bounce again. Okay, so that's it, guys. Simple trend line video. Hope they helped you. Go back and test it on your charts. Okay, do not just skip over this video and just go on to the next one. No, go back in your charts right now. Okay, and try to do some trend lines. Try to find something. Okay, try to find something. I'm gonna do one more. This one's a little bit too angled. That's too much angle for me. 1, 2. This one's decent, but then price consolidates and it drops off. Okay, this is a perfect example of a consolidating trend line. So look, 1, 2, run it through. Try to figure out. This one's decent. It's a decent trend line. It's not that bad. 1 right here. And the second point's right here. Is where I connected it to. Second point right there. As you can see, the third hit, we had some reaction. There's a retest, it drops off. But notice how price stayed sideways. So that's why I don't really like it in this scenario. Like I told you guys, whenever you do a trend line and then price consolidates sideways, like it usually makes your trend line like not invalidates it, but just kind of price is just basically standing still, right? So the trend line's not being followed. Okay, but then as you can see, there's an entry short. But yeah, let me remove all these. It's a decent trend line. It's a decent one. It's not that great. Some are going to be better than others, guys, depending how price sets up. Okay. Let's erase this. Okay. What I want to do is a trend line going down right here. Since it started making lower highs right here, this is a lower high compared to this high. I was going to try to do a trend line and try to catch the third hit, but I don't think it might. It's a near miss. See, it's a very close near miss. That's the only problem with this in this scenario. So let me try to connect it a little bit tighter. Yeah. See how the third hit was a near miss and then dropped off, but you would have known something's up when your trend line going up basically got broken and price consolidated sideways. Okay, you would have known something's up. Let me do one more. One more. Let me go back to some crazy stuff. See if we can figure something out. Okay, this one's okay. Looks like it might have a good angle on it. 1, 2, run it through. 1, 2, run it through. Okay, this is not the holy grail, guys. It's not going to be like, you know, it's not going to solve all your problems in trading, but it's going to help you a lot. Okay, so this is a decent trend line right here. 1, 2, run it through. Third hit, reacted. Reversal pattern, climbed. Fourth hit, reacted. Fifth hit, reacted. Boom, good trend line. Okay, broke underneath. See if it's going to retest. And then you see how price consolidates sideways. Okay, so that's the only problem. So we have to redo the trend line and try to find another one. Okay. So this is the daily chart, so we're good. 1, try to find it from here. 1, 2, run it through. Remember, we have to follow the rules. Okay, so third hit was a near miss. I don't really like it, but we did get reaction once it broke underneath, which is nice. So right there, boom, reacted and then dropped off heavy. Okay, so it's a decent trend line. Like I said, you see how you can do multiple, but just redraw the trend line once price consolidates sideways for a long time, then do another trend line, right? Redo it or do a new one. Okay, and try to find another one. So last one for sure. This is the last one, guys. Lower high right here. Decent lower high right here before it dropped off. 1, 2, run it through. 1, 2, run it through. Okay, notice this heavy downtrend was over when the trend line finally broke to the upside. Okay, and then we started climbing. See that? So as soon as price broke this trend line, you can start looking for trend line going to the other way, the other side, right? So 1, try to figure it out. 1, 2, run it through. Let's try to find a good angle for this one. This is a long trend, so before it consolidates sideways. This is, I don't really like the angle on this one, but it's decent, guys. Like I told you guys, the angles. See, when the trend line's too angled, as soon as price consolidates, the trend line gets invalidated. Pretty much, it gets, you know, just can't use it anymore. So you have to redo it. But it's a decent trend line, guys. The angle is a little too much, but notice price did follow it. There's a second hit. There's a third hit reaction. There's the fourth hit. Would have been an entry right there long. Okay, and this is a daily chart, so it's a lot of pips. And then once price consolidated and broke the trend line, so it's pretty much invalidated it. So you're gonna have to do another one, right? So yeah, that's where our next one came in. Very easy to see, guys. Very easy to see. Practice this. Okay, so like I said, I can't show you guys that much because this video is just simple, right? Just simply doing trend lines. So I'll do another one real quick. 1, 2, run it through. 1, 2, run it through. Boom. There's the break. There's the huge downtrend started. Simple, right? See how simple it is? Look, right there would have been your entry, or you would have started looking to go short soon, right? As soon as price broke below this major trend line on the daily chart, look at that, it's free falling. Okay, so this is a decent trend line, very good trend line, decent, like I said, here or there. Because the only thing I don't like about this trend line, 1, 2, run it through, we did not get a really good reaction on the third hit. So near misses and stuff, but not a really good reaction to the third hit. So not that solid of a trend line for me personally, but it still works. Okay, as long as you follow the rules, guys, it'll pan out. Okay, you'll be able to spot stuff. Let me see, 1, 2. It's gonna be a little bit too angled on that one. See how it just depends on how price sets up. So I'm gonna do it right here. That's better. That's a better trend line right there. See how the angle is decent? Decent angle. Second hit, third hit reacts beautifully. False breakout below, close above on the daily chart. Small reversal pattern, takes off. That's beautiful. That's beautiful because you could have said, well, that's a third hit on the daily trend line. Support found, right? If you look left slightly, looks like support got found in this area. Price reacts off of it, right? Rejects, starts going up, breaks the high, this lower high right here. Previous high, breaks it, start looking to go long. Boom. Simple, guys, simple, right? And then look, okay, so price reacted this third hit, starts going up, right? Our trend line is gone, right? It's kind of far away. Let's do another one. So 1, 2, run it through. As long as price stays above this trend line, we're good on our long. As soon as price touched this trend line, okay, for the third time, you know it's going to start reacting near it. See how it just consolidated, messing around, get out. Okay, get out of your buy position because you know it's probably going to break. Right, there's the break, hit support, look left, hit support, bounced, and it took off again. And then started coming back down again. Touch the trend line, bounce. Break the trend line, now we're going short. See how simple it is, guys? So if you guys don't understand it, just run through the video one more time. Remember point 1, point 2, run it through. Let me go back to the notes. Where do I have them here? So yeah, point 1, point 2, extended into the future. Make sure point A and point B are wicks. Higher lows means an uptrend. Lower highs means a downtrend, so adjust accordingly. Once you get a little bit more advanced, you'll be able to do counter trend lines and, you know, add fibs to this and all that stuff, all the fun stuff that we're going to get into, okay? So this is trend lines, guys. Simple video, trend lines, a little bit of counter trend lines, right? A little sneak preview. And yeah, if you don't understand it, go back in time, go back on your charts, just start doing trend lines everywhere. Just start figuring out if you can see entries and exits with the trend lines, okay? So on to the next video, guys, probably counter trend lines. Get into it. All right, peace.